But let's go back to Russia, because
Russia, by the way, has also been very interesting, because Russia at different points has also been a magnet for migration. And it's had, knock-on effects there too. They've had a massive demand for labour. But now, with the war in Ukraine, they've been sending all kinds of people to the front. And I think we're going to have, some big questions at the end on this very same topic about the future of Russia, because Russia has also been, or rather Putin has been targeting non-ethnic Russians.
Right.
To send and to dispatch to Ukraine, and that will be also
very
destabilising. Yes, so I would say so. Some Russian citizens who are non-ethnically Russian, so Tatars, right. Bashkirs, all these other words, kind of groups.
Minorities are being disproportionately sent to die.
And also those who might have a dual citizenship from Central Asia. There's all kinds of records of Central Asians who got arrested in Russia for immigration or other infractions, or have dual citizenship from Tajikistan, for example, being dispatched to the front in Ukraine. And of course, we've had tens of thousands of North Koreans, being sent there as well. So Russia is, in some respects, engaging in an imperial war of the old style, where you send, the troops from other places to the front.
The Australians to Gallipoli,
exactly,
et cetera.
Exactly.
But how do we know the impact of that in terms of how Russians are feeling about their lives and their country? Because it's so hard to read. And one would think that with the huge casualties, the number of families that must have known someone dead, someone murdered, and the stories presumably that they're bringing back are pretty gruesome. And this is World War I kind of warfare. What is the mood, and how do we know what that mood is, and why is it conceivable, as I fear it might be, that Putin can keep this patriotic revive, make Russia great again ethos with a military state and huge amounts of propaganda and censorship to kind of massage the message? This could be kind of not that unstable.
He can keep this going for a while, that's for sure, unless there is something to destabilise the situation.
And the economy is better than we thought it would be.
Well, I think it's been more resilient than many people thought it would be. But for anybody who's looked at Russia, it should have been obvious that they would, find some way to keep this going. First of all, because it's imperative for Putin. That's where perhaps has not been fully appreciated here in all the outreach here. You can't really incentivise him to make any kind of concession and find, some other pathway for him, because he's got to win this. He's got to have a victory. And Russian public opinion, which you can gauge somewhat, using algorithms and, kind of scrubbing of social media, for example, is very much in favour of ending the war, but with a Russian victory.
Right.
There wants to be no post, World War II Germany experience with reparations or having to make recompense or penance or, basically airing all of the sins of the past. And if you think back, in other settings, France with Algeria, Britain with Northern Ireland or Ireland and, all the rest of it. Countries rarely want to kind of go through that, maybe cathartic for some, but devastating, for others, process of reckoning with what you've seen. So that the impulse in Russia is to basically keep on going until others capitulate. Now, the economy is very much overheated. There's all kinds of reports out there from, pretty serious economists, Russian and otherwise, that, this is going to be very difficult. You can't continue this indefinitely. But Putin doesn't think he has to. He thinks that everybody else will give up on it. And then there'll still be the circumstances, because this will be a long process anyway of getting out where Russia can remain in a state of vigilance and keep on with this militarized economy for the long haul.